Hello and welcome to this multimedia series on the environment on CNC3. I'm Ira Mathur. Last Sunday, the management of Solid Waste Management Company Limited insisted that the nation's dumps were safe and not poisoning our produce or water table. However, last week's guest columnist, Dr. Azad Mohammed, scientist, eco-toxologist and lecturer at UWI, tells us that plastics, remember we dump up to 50 million plastic bottles every month, styrofoam, paper and electronics can generate some of the deadliest toxins ever studied. The terrible news is that our dumps really are dumps and not landfills, contrary to the management of the Solid Waste Management Company. According to an environmental scientist, this is the difference between a landfill and a dump. A modern landfill is lined with waterproof materials such as clay and plastic to prevent rainwater and other liquids from leaking waste into the environment by contaminating the ground. They have drains that capture liquids which are treated and water wells that are monitored for leaks. Landfills are covered each day with soil to keep birds, insects, rats and other animals from moving in. The daily covering also keeps water and air out of the trash, which keeps the material from rotting too fast and creating bad smells. Dumps, on the other hand, are just that, a big hole piled with garbage. They do not prevent the waste from coming into contact with the ground. They're full of rats, roaches and other vermin, and they stink. Our crew has been there, and the Beetham is a dump. To tell us just how harmful our dumps are to our health, today we have two very highly qualified lecturers from the University of the West Indies, Dr. Azad Mohammed, eco-toxologist, and Dr. Judith Gobin, who is a marine biologist, amongst many, many other things. Both come with hefty credentials. But before we get into the interview, let's take a look at some of the shots we got of the Beetham when our crew visited earlier this month. Let me start off with you, Dr. Mohammed. We saw some of the shots of the dump, quite shocking stuff. The management of Solid Waste Management Company Limited say that actually there are no poisons going into our water table. It's not affecting our produce, and we're actually quite okay.
Yeah, that's a big misconception actually. They themselves have claimed on their websites that there are two facilities at Guanapo and at Beetham are badly situated. First of all, the Beetham landfill, as they call it, or the Beetham dump, is located on the edge of a mangrove system, which has a water table almost on the surface of the ground. The Guanapo dump, however, is located on the top of a hill, which is connected to the Guanapo River and sits on top of a large watershed that stretches all the way out to the sea. So they are badly situated and can pose significant environmental health risks from what's coming out of it.
Can or do?
Do.
Have there any studies been done?
There are very few studies that were done on the materials that are coming out of the dumps. I know a few years ago that the EMA had commissioned the Curiri to do some sink wells in the Beetham to look at whatever leachates and stuff might be running off, but we have not been privy to the results of that study. We are actually in the process of conducting research in the Beetham Sea Lots area and the Bay, Sea Lots Harbour, really, which is adjacent just outside of the main mangrove system. And there is the main drain that runs in from the dump site, and it brings on all the effluents from the drains, from the dumps, plus the sewage treatment facilities, plus the other municipal industries and everything else down there. And we've been picking up large quantities of pesticides, dioxins, which you mentioned early on, furans, PCBs. If I would put this in context for you, Trinidad and Tobago signed the Stockholm Convention in 2002. It's an international treaty which looks at the banning some of these highly toxic materials. There are 21 chemicals listed on there. Of the ones that we investigated, there were 10 pesticides, organochlorine pesticides, which we were picking up, plus your PCBs, plus your dioxins and furans. Dioxins and furans are generated from combustion processes of chlorinated materials such as PVC, plastics, some papers.
It sounds like that we could be drinking poison and eating poisonous food. Dr. Gobin, what is your opinion?
Absolutely. First, I just want to say that I think this is a fantastic program, and it's a wonderful way for us to get the information out to the public, maybe the proper and correct information. Trinidad and Tobago, we've come a long way. We do have a lot of very positive environmental issues, solutions in place, but we still desperately are in need of finding or increasing these solutions. Oh, sorry.
Well, no, that's okay. But your area of expertise is swamp and coastal ecology.
Yeah.
What is your view? You must be seeing all the waste out there. You're studying it. You're in it. How bad is it?
Yeah, we've just heard about all the nasties that are there, and some people don't believe that they're there. But our marine fauna and our water quality are extremely good indicators of what's out there. So when we do these studies and surveys, we look at the water quality. We test the water quality in the proximal areas that we're talking about, especially in that Beetham area. We have found extremely high values, as suggested by Dr. Mohammed, not only in the water but also in some of the organisms. What is happening is that there is what we call bioaccumulation in these faunal organisms. Over a period of time, they accumulate the toxic elements of these substances, and so much so that they're actually accumulating it at a higher concentration than would be available in the ambient conditions. Okay. So we do have these organisms which we can use and we are using as test organisms. So we can safely say that these are indicator organisms and they indicate a poor quality of our environment.
Well, when we come back, I want to talk about the relationship with the poor quality environment that you speak of and our health. I know that our rates of cancer are among the highest in the world. Well, we need to take a short break. As you watch, I want to remind you to send in your comments and suggestions to cleaningupthemess@guardian.co.tt. This is an environmental special on CNC3. We'll be right back.